Welcome to Izzo Math. Today we're talking about weighted averages. We've all heard, or you've been the student, or as teachers we've all heard the students who come up and say, what do I have to do to get an A in this class? Or what's the least amount I can score on the final exam to get an A in this class? Wah, wah, wah. I hate it too because we want to say, how much did you learn? But it's a valid question. We should address it. The students need to know. And if you haven't seen this done one, it's a simple, really a developmental algebra topic. But if you haven't seen it done once or twice, it can be a little difficult to understand what's going on. So I'm going to look at some grades here. And so here in this, I had my homework for this class was worth 20%. My Unit 1 test was worth 25%, was weighted as 25%. My Unit 2 test was weighted as 25% for the final grade, and the final exam was 30%. And what you see here, your grade, that's a running tally. So for example, let me first show you what this represents right now. So that's 68.09 right there. That's going to be, so homework is 20%, so that's going to be 0.2 times that homework grade. That's 20% of that 81. Plus, Unit 1 test is 25%, so 0.25 times 73.85. Plus, that Unit 2 test for this student was worth 25%, so 0.25 times 52. And down here on the bottom, you put the total. So far we've done 20 plus 25 plus 25, that's going to be 50 plus 20. Is you divide by that's going to be the total amount of the weights that you've done so far. Note I haven't done the final exam, so I don't include that in there. So if I pull my calculator up here, we're going to get 0.2 times 81 plus 0.25 times 73.85 plus 0.25 times 52. Enter. Now divide by 70, and we get that 68%. So that's going to be the 68.09. That's going to be approximately 68.09. So that's the number that you see there. So now the question is, what do we need here? I don't think this student's going to be able to get an A. So what would we need here? Let's say the student wants to get a B. Needs a B. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a B, but let's look at it and see. So let me erase all this. Let me show you how you would work this problem. So we got a student. This here is the scenario. Oops. This is going green. Here's the scenario for the student. We want to figure out what that student needs here on the final exam that's worth 30% to get a B. So I would need to do, I would look at this as 0.2 times 81 plus 0.25 times that score, 73.85 plus 25% times that 52 plus 0.3, and I'm going to say times x because I don't know what it is, but I know when this is done I want this thing to be an 80%. I need it to be an 80. So if I need to figure out what that x needs to be such that when I'm left here, when I do all this, that I end up with an 80. Okay? So now it's just going to be simple algebra. You take this piece, that piece, and that piece to the other side and subtract it from 80. So subtract those three terms from 80, so we get 0.3x equals 80 minus 0.2 times 81 plus 0.25 times 73.85 plus 0.25 times 52. Alright? And then we would divide out by the 0.3x. So divide out by 0.3, divide out by 0.3, and we would get what x is going to equal to. So So let's do this on the calculator. I get 80 minus 0.2 times 81 plus 0.25 times 73.85. Oops, I shouldn't put that parentheses in there. It doesn't matter. Plus 0.25 times 52. 0.25 times 52. We got all that in there, right? 0.2 times 81, 0.25 times 73.85, and 0.25 times 52. Enter. Now divide out by the 0.3. We got 107.79. So 107.7, let's say 107.8. So that would mean this student needs to, better hope there's some extra credit on here, because to get a B, this student would have to score 107.8. Okay, now let's check it. So let's look here. So we said that the student needed 107.8. So let's plug 107.8 into the final exam. And we should, if we see over here, we look and see that we did, it gave that student an 80 right on the nose. Okay? That's 7 minutes. So let's do one more quickly if we got time. Let's look at so let's say this student here wants to know this student's done awesome, so they want to know, what do I need to score on the final, what's the least that I can do on the final exam to get an A. So we've got homework is 100, so what was that? Homework was 20%, 0.2 times 100, plus unit test 1 was 25%, 0.25 times 103.08, plus unit 2 test is 104, 0.25 times 104, plus final exam is going to be 30%, 0.3x, and want that to equal a 90. Okay, so quick and easy here. I'm going to do 90 minus all this stuff, and then divide out by the 0.3x and get x is approximately equal to, let's see, 90 minus, what is it, 0.2 times 100? Oh no, I didn't want to do that. 90 minus 0.2 times 100 plus 0.25 times 103.08 plus 0.25 times 104. Okay, enter that, divide by 0.3, and so this student can make as low as a 60, let's say a 61, so about a 61%, and this student was still making A. How am I looking on time? We got a minute, so let's go confirm that. So we're saying a 61 is going to give an A. So let's look here. So we're on this one, so we plug in a 61, and you see that put me at the 90.07. So I hope that helps you out on calculating these weighted grades, these weighted averages. I know it's tough, but students always have trouble with it, but I think once they see this, if you show them this video, that they will be able to work out what their average or what their final exam score needs to be to get the grade that they want. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions.